From the CyberHub bunker and studio, you're tuning in to the CyberHub podcast. And now for your host and CISO, James Azar.
Hey folks, happy Monday, good morning. It's the month of February. Who would have thunk that January was gonna disappear so fast? But it has. We're in February. I've got a great practitioner brief for you today. If you guys are watching us live, for all of those watching us live, there's a special guest. You might recognize him, Chris Foulon. Chris, good morning, man. How you doing?
Good morning. Amazing Monday. Happy to be here.
I'm ecstatic for you to be here. We have a special announcement. Chris is joining me on the show, and we've got some special stuff going on. But before we do that, folks, first of all, if you're watching us live and you haven't subscribed to our social media pages and you're not following us there, please do so right now. If you're watching us on YouTube, turn on the notification bell to get notified every day when I go live at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Practitioner Brief. If you're listening after the fact on your favorite podcast listening platform, subscribe and give us a 5-star review. That helps push us up the rankings. And so it gets more people to notice our content, and it doesn't cost you a thing. All you got to do is just hit a button, give us 5 stars, write a nice review or two, and let people know all about it. Today's show is sponsored by our friends over at KnowBe4 and Wistic. You can see their links and the awesome services they help you with in our show notes. So check those out. So Chris and I, before we get started though, Chris, it's your first time on the Practitioner Brief. I kind of started a Scott Adams tradition. A sip of coffee. Today, I'm taking just one single shot of a very, very strong espresso. Typically, I do a double. So for those watching us live, you can also join with your favorite cup of coffee. Chris, cheers. Man, I love a good espresso in the morning. All right. So a few things to talk about today on the Practitioner Brief. I've got a few different stories pulled up here. I'll start with the Android emulator supply chain attack that's targeting gamers with malware. So here's the thing. The risk with this in the US is non-existent practically. So far, all the attacks have been in Asia, all against strategic adversaries of the Chinese Communist Party. Hong Kong, Taiwan are all compromised. They're targeting specific gamers. This was a report by ESET. So the impact to this, if you do work in one of those nations or if you're in security in one of those nations, is to keep an eye out for gamers and ensure the sophistication of the attack isn't quite there. They did go through the API infrastructure. It's unknown what kind of security controls these guys had in place at the Knox player, but they are targeting Sri Lanka, Hong Kong, and Taiwan, all strategic adversaries for China. That's where the attack has been taking place, and it's very, very highly strategic. So keep an eye on that for mitigation. If you do work in one of those places, just ensure that people uninstall and reinstall from clean media, and that should take care of this specific issue. Let's move on to one more, the ProOcean malware that's now worming through Apache, Oracle, and Redis servers. So if you're on AWS, which I think like 60% of the population's there, Chris, it's about right?
Yeah, that's about right. So
a lot of people use Redis on AWS. There are more better tools to be used on AWS, like Cognito and a few others that you guys can really look at depending on what you're using Redis for. But this is a crypto jacking malware that's taken advantage of several active CVEs. Several of them, folks. If I tell you what the CVE is, if you're not watching, CVE 2017. This CVE is 4 years old, folks. Patch this stuff. And the next one is even scarier. CVE 2016 3088, the Apache Active MQ, known infamously for a little bit of our friends over at Equifax here in Atlanta. Apache for them does not mean a helicopter. So get that. Get those taken care of. So the impact here can be significant. This is a crypto jacking campaign, so all they're doing is taking over. They are using open source libraries to do this. So they're trying to hide the crypto jacking through publicly available open source code within your library, so you can double check that. Palo Alto has several mitigations available. This is through our friends over at Bleeping Computer, and the link will be in the show notes so you guys can check this out. So there's two more things real quick. One, Hezbollah is in the cyber game. Hezbollah Cyber, a terror group out of Lebanon that's been wreaking havoc in Lebanon since the 90s. Iranian-backed, has now reared its head, according to Clear Sky, with targeted attacks against the U.S., U.K., Egypt, Israel, Jordan, Lebanon, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. Sound familiar? That's kind of like the axis of good versus the axis of evil. They are employing a variety of tools, many open source, but they're showing a preference for the use of the Caterpillar web shell and explosive RAT. This was a big, before Soleimani was taken off the battlefield last year by former President Trump, Iran was investing heavily in getting Hezbollah not only rockets, but also cyber capabilities as well. And so now we're seeing almost a year later, they're starting to rear their ugly head out of the holes after they finished blowing up Beirut. So keep your eyes out for these guys. They're bound to be targeting organizations that are against strategic Iranian and interest in the region. Finally, SonicWall Zero is being exploited in the wild, according to NCC Group. According to NCC Group, they've seen several threat actors take advantage of this specific 0 day. Now, here's the thing about this SonicWall 0 day is it's the secure mobile access that's predominantly used inside government and enterprise networks. SolarWinds 2.0. So keep your eyes out for that. As of right now, SonicWall has not commented on this 0 day. This obviously was discovered over the weekend, so we can't expect SonicWall to have a response as of yet. And so keep your eye. If you're using this, one mitigation technique here, folks, is one, enable multi-factor authentication and restrict the owner's IPs if you can. So if you're using SonicWall within your environment, just restrict the IPs that can log into the admin console, and you should be doing some basic mitigation there. Chris, you joined me not to just watch live, but you took my InfoSec Hire Challenge, where we got 9 out of 10 people hired in January. We got to 90% of our goal. That's really exciting. You put it on steroids. Tell us a little bit about 2021 and 2021.
Yes, exactly. So I wanted to have a bigger impact on the community, but I also didn't want us to be the ones driving it. I wanted it to be a community effort. So I put a call out on LinkedIn, Twitter, for our InfoSec community to come together to help the community. And so far, we've had over 25 individuals reach out that they want to help review resumes, and we've had over 276 people submit their resumes for reviews. From that, so far in the month of January, we've had 73 resumes reviewed already, and like you mentioned, 9 people getting hired. So those are an amazing start to the year. Community, if you want to help out, if you want to help help with resume reviews, reach out to me, DM James. We'll get you hooked up. If you want your resume review to get that role in 2021, we'll help you get there. This is a community-driven effort by volunteers, so be patient with us as we go through the large amount of submissions for the volunteers that we have. But our goal is to have that impact on the community and to make InfoSec a great place to work in.
Well, so you're the host of Breaking into Cybersecurity podcast with the awesome, magnificent Renee, right? I mean, she's great. So the 221 and 2021, folks, is the concept of beating ATS and bringing through the diversity of thought that's needed in cyber that rarely makes it past the hiring manager. So if you're looking for people, please contact us. We've got 276 CVs in our databases that are there. This isn't a money-making effort, Chris, right? This is a community effort to help get people work. So it doesn't cost you anything if your company is hiring or you are hiring yourself as a listener or viewer of the podcast. Just reach out to either myself or Chris. We'd love to get you on and get you looking at some of these great people that are really just trying to get into this awesome industry. And I don't know what they're thinking to themselves. Like, welcome to InfoSec.
Yeah,
there's no nights or weekends.
Yeah, exactly. Like you mentioned, bypassing applicant tracking systems that over-screen, over-process, over-remove qualified candidates from the list, and then you get access to them directly, as well as helping out individuals improve their resume and improve their chances for getting hired, whether it's with you or another organization. Let's have a greater impact on the community as a whole.
Brilliant. So it's hashtag 221 in 2021. You can find it on LinkedIn, Twitter, and everywhere else. If you're looking to hire people, put that hashtag in your job post. We'll see it. We'll be able to share it. You can tag me, tag Chris, tag Renee, tag Naomi, Buckwalter, tag us all, tag as many people as you can in those job postings. Let's get those jobs filled quickly, and let's get people through the door and change some lives in the process. Chris, thanks for joining me this morning. I know it's early, man.
Absolutely, no problem.
It's great to have you here. Okay, so that's it for our podcast, folks. If you have not subscribed, do so right now. Make sure to comment, tell your friends, share the show. That's the best thing you could do for your friends. If you really like them, even just a little bit, share and let them know what's going on here. We'll be back tomorrow with more practitioner review. And till then, folks, stay healthy, mask up, social distance, wash your hands, and most importantly, don't click the link, and stay cyber safe.
We love feedback, so make sure to connect with us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform.